How's it going, everybody? This is Derek Quick with Count Fortune. In this video today, we're going to be talking about uranium, and I'm actually going to be selling some uranium stocks because I think there could be a possible market correction coming. I'll go over exactly what I think is going to happen, and there are a lot of things going on all around the world leading to higher uranium prices, and I think that there's a big opportunity coming. But I'm going to talk about these pullbacks in uranium that we could possibly have and that we've seen in the spot price and why those things are happening, and talk a little bit about Sput. But please first hit that like and subscribe button below, and we're going to jump right into it. So first thing we'll talk about is uranium's trace back in the spot market. It's gone very low volume in Sput recently. Now Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, they have actually been trading still on the OTC with some brokers, so the over-the-counter, but the other day the new law went in and OTC stocks that did not report, they were sent to the OTC expert. Basically means a lot of brokers would not let people trade Sput. So there's been very low volume compared to what we've seen a week and a half ago. Now, Charles Schwab still lets you trade it. They weren't yesterday, or 2 days ago. Now they are. So I think a lot of brokers are going to change this. Sput is still waiting on the key information document, like I had said before. But this has really started to let the spot uranium price drop back a little bit. So Sput they're going to continue still buying, but they need more buying volume. And once they get this key information document in and more people are able to buy the stock, and brokers actually will let them, especially overseas, we're going to see this volume go back up in the buying in Sput, and they can start to continue to buy spot uranium. Now, we've had a pretty big correction in some of these uranium stocks. They're off their 52-week high, 30+%. Now, a lot of these stocks, there were a lot of stocks green yesterday in uranium, that were positive. Energy Fuels was up big, a lot of stocks were. And the thing is, with uranium stocks, they're very volatile, like I've always said. And one thing that I think could happen with the market, the overall stock market, we've got a lot of things going on, but what I want to talk about is when you have a loss or your stock is down, I want to show you what the gains are to just break even. So if your stock drops, say 50%, you actually have to gain 100% to just break even. And we've seen 35% drops in a lot of these uranium stocks off their 52-week high. And if you get a 35% drop, you're looking at a 50% gain just to break even, okay? Not even breaking out of that 52-week high. So there are very big opportunities when you get a big market correction, because this is where we're at in pretty much every uranium stock. You can see just a basic visual. Everything's gone up in the past year and a half, and then we've traced back down a little bit, and we've started to come back up again. And then with Spot going down, I think it's at 42.50, the ask, we've retraced back a little bit. Now, I think that there's going to be a possibility of an overall market correction overall that could bring uranium stocks down a lot, especially the uranium stocks that have ran thousands of percent. These, say a Paladin, 1700%, it's actually gone a lot higher. Since we had this drawback. If it's over, let's just say 1500, percent, we're looking at a massive drop here that could happen, in a stock that's ran that much. And if a stock like that drops, if it does, then you have such a big opportunity on the upside to make massive gains. And these crashes sometimes are crashes that could happen, as like a flash crash. With uranium stocks, I think there'd be a lot of buying volume if this happens. If we dropped 50-60% over a few month period, and uranium stocks just had a lot of selling, you're looking at a few 100%, maybe even more, that you could still have on the upside just to get back to where it was, if we get a big massive drop. Now, uranium stocks, they're known to do these big drops, but if we get a market correction, this is what I really want to look out for. I want to be able to have cash, so I'm going to be selling some uranium stocks that have been lagging, and some that I'm up on profits, and some other stocks that aren't necessarily uranium miners or explorers. So one thing I'm looking at, another thing in the US, there was some news that uranium mining ban was upheld by the Supreme Court. This was in Virginia. So I don't own this stock, but Virginia Energy Resources, this stock is now on the red list. So it's, in the US, Wyoming is pretty much the only big real supporting state of mining. That's where most of the big mines actually are. And the thing is, in the US, that's why a lot of my mining stocks are outside of the US. Peninsula, I believe in Peninsula, they're in Wyoming, but this is a big thing. This is a big issue still in the US, even though they want to support nuclear, it's still, mining in the US is not looked at, very positively in the US. But the other thing is, we're having these issues in China with power rationing now because of record coal prices, and winter is coming. So we're having rationing going on there in China. They're looking to add nuclear fuel because of all their new reactors coming on. You got in the United Kingdom, petrol stations, which is gas stations, they are actually having people not able to get gas fuel because of shortages. And a lot of these shortages are because of not only shipping via ships coming in, it's also because there are a lack of drivers for these semi trucks, trolleys, they call them over there. And this is big. We have that going on. And then another big thing for the positive side for uranium, and I put this out there on Twitter. I said the elephant in the room is the Japanese nuclear restarts. So Japan, after Fukushima, they shut down a lot of reactors, and they went to alternative sources of energy. Now the new prime minister is going to want to, he's very pro-nuclear, and they're gonna have restarts. So there will be future demand coming out of Japan. Do they have the right amount of fuel that they need? Probably not, because a lot of it did go in the spot market in the past. They're gonna need more. If we're looking at like the world stock, like I said, the world market, I'm on edge a little bit about the overall market. Like I said before, Japan, they're having some issues over there. They're red. I want to talk about the U.S. market. We're green. Okay, so things are getting postponed. This new budget bill, it's a lot of dilution. 3.5 trillion. The big thing in America, though, is the holidays are coming. There are lots and lots of supply shortages coming. There are 60, I believe they said 61 vessels off of the coast of California. I'll show you the AI system. I was in the U.S. Coast Guard, so I know all about the shipping issues that they're having out there, and what it really entails. These ships are docked out there. Okay, so a lot of them are they're actually anchored out there, or they're actually underway, just waiting to come here in the port and unload. Okay, so all these ships out here, big container vessels, they could have anything on them. Okay, things from in the stores that could have energy materials, and what happens is semi trucks will come in and they'll pick up these loads. Well, they're backed up. There's a supply shortage, obviously in the markets, but there's also people not coming into work. There's semi truck drivers. This is probably the biggest overlooked thing in the United States. They really are the backbone for supply. Semi truck drivers, and these workers that drive these semi trucks and pick up these loads, these containers, a lot of them are not the healthiest people. I know a lot of them. I had family that did it. They have issues sometimes medically. They're always on the road, long hours. There's a shortage of these people. Their health has been down because of what's been going on. A lot of them have been sick. And you also have the other thing is, politically wise, they usually tend to push to the right. And you know, I'm not going to get really deep into that, but a lot of these people, if they don't do certain things medically, then they might be fired from their job, and some of them are going on strike because of this. You know, they don't necessarily believe in it, whatever it's religion or whatever it is. You know, they might not want to conform to what the government's telling them to do. So this is huge. This could be very big. You know, commodities are going up. We're seeing commodities, you know, start to rise. The prices in the markets here, uranium is pretty much one of the only ones that's retraced, you know, this week, down 8%, but we're still up big, 43% for the year. Uranium, you know, hit a massive run, and we're retracing a little bit. Crude oil is going down slightly, but we're still up. Everything, you know, in the commodity sector, it's still going up year to year. It's up a lot, everything. And I think as the supply shortage happens, things are, you know, these actual commodities will go up. Uranium has a big future. And because of these shortages in the US, all over the world, uranium's going up, but I want to have cash. I want to have the opportunity to buy into a flash crash, because I think uranium stocks, although the uranium price will continue to go up, there will be a lot of new people possibly that bought that are going to sell. You know, a lot of big institutions, if they're, you know, the ETFs, if they're in, they might take some profits. And we saw this last year, March of 2020. We saw these massive drops. This loss calculator, we saw drops, you know, for the 3, 4, 5 years leading up to March 20, you know, we saw 90, 95%. And, you know, they diluted. And that's why you see these 900, 1900% plus gains in these uranium stocks. This is when I started buying a lot of these. Now, if we retrace, you know, 50, 60%, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but a market correction could do this. But this is pretty funny. I want to show you this. Wall Street Uranium posted it. It's pretty funny. Let's see. So nice job, Wall Street Uranium. Very bullish video. Makes me motivated, pumped up for the uranium markets. But remember, uranium has to trade in the overall markets, and we are in uncharted waters. Record inflation. We have record commodity prices coming. We have record shortages. We have record spending. We have other things that we can't really talk about, you know, going on in the world going on. So it's going to be a battle. So if we look at the uranium price here, this is the Discord, by the way. This is where I have all my uranium channels, stock channels, my stocks that I trade. My portfolio is listed on here, but it's about 4250. So I track all this within the Discord. This is where you can contact me. The best place really to answer all your questions or talk to you and share this info is through Discord. So if you guys are wanting to get a hold of me, that's where you got to do it. If you want to see what stocks I'm buying and selling, up to date 24/7, it's going to be in the Discord. There's a link in the description below. But hope you guys are ready. Going to be a battle coming up, very, very big in the stock market.